Hello and welcome to Rotted Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about a feature that was requested by patron Nikki, who wanted me to watch and review the 1980 episode of Hammer House of Horror, The House That Bled to Death. Hell of a name, if you ask me. I love Hammer films, I love the Amicus anthologies and so forth, but I never actually went and watched any episodes of this one season 13 episode series. Every episode is a self-contained storyline covering the gamut of various horror icons and tropes and so forth. And this one happens to cover the haunted house trope. And in this, we have the family of William, Emma, and little Sophie Peters as they are moving into a dilapidated old home, a fixer-upper, if you will. Good bones. Unfortunately, the house has been plagued with a history of its own, including that of murder, as the neighbors find themselves happy to have the house occupied, but still concerned for their safety, and concerned they should be, because all manner of haunting things start happening. Okay, so like I said, I had never prior to this seen a Hammer House of Horror episode, and I gotta say, I was suitably impressed by this. So much so that I have actually just started watching more of the 13 episodes and enjoying those just as much. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll do a ranking video. If that's something you want me to do, ranking or tiered list or something of the 13 Hammer House of Horror episodes, I'd love to do that. So let me know if that's something that might interest you. But suffice it to say, this was a TV series that was created in 1980 as an anthology between Hammer Films and in association with Cinema Arts International and ITC Entertainment, and it's won itself several accolades, including in 2003, Channel 4 made a top 100 scariest moments ever, and this particular episode placed number 50. So what was it I liked about this so much? Well, if you know my channel, you know I love haunted house movies. But also, if you know my channel, you know I love nothing more than being surprised. And this episode of The House That Bled to Death offered so much on both fronts. I don't know if I can really talk about this without getting some spoilery stuff going on here. I'm going to avoid specifically laying out any plot points, but just the nature of the conversation is going to kind of, at the very least, spoil some energy aspects to this. I don't know how else to phrase it, but one of the things that I loved most about this episode is how much it was able to surprise me, because I went into it thinking that this would be a very generic haunted house kind of storyline. And although it had a lot of those aspects and took a lot of that inspiration, it did manage to turn it on its head in a way that I didn't really expect. And here's the thing about that is it wasn't out of nowhere. There were several key scenes that happened in this episode that were very intelligent and very subtle. Things that I did notice, but it didn't quite coagulate. It didn't quite gel into me actually figuring out the entire nature of the episode. It more was just, well, that's an interesting thing. I should bookmark that in my mind for later. Never really drawing the conclusion, but at the same time still recognizing it as a bit of a storyline oddity. And then when the storyline fully presented itself, all of those things that I had noticed clicked into place, and it just felt so earned, so fulfilling, and so wonderful. Overall, the acting was pretty decent. I mean, it's kind of made for TV stuff, but at the same time, it's made for TV stuff not in America. So, you know, you're going to have your nudity, you're going to have your more adult themes and so on without a little bit more of, say, the 1980s United States prudish elements there. It got away with a bit more, but even so, yeah, made for TV. So it had that level of production to it, that level of acting to it, just a little bit cheesy, a little bit hammy. But if you've seen Hammer films or if you've seen the Amicus anthologies, it's absolutely nothing that would differ from that in the slightest. And I mentioned earlier that this episode hit number 50 in the Channel 4 Top 100 Scariest Moments. And the scene that caused that to happen was such a delight. It was a birthday party scene that went so awry in the best way possible and in a way that I just did not see coming. It set itself up and I was expecting somewhat of a benign outcome, and it went hard in the best way possible. I was sitting there with a smile from ear to ear. So I am extraordinarily grateful to Nikki for recommending this one to me. If you've never seen Hammer House of Horror, then I do recommend checking it out. This episode in particular. Like I said, I have seen a couple, and although I've been enjoying them, I don't think that any of them have actually lived up to quite the same level of quality in terms of character, story, gore, surprises, and thrills as The House That Bled to Death. So please check it out. It's not just a recommendation, it's a plea from me. It needs to be watched. It was a fantastic episode of a fantastic series. So that should about do it. Thank you very much for watching this. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. If you want to support me and my channel further, a super thanks or a Patreon subscription would not go amiss. We have Discord benefits, watch parties, behind the scenes videos, weekly vlogs, and all sorts of great stuff starting at only $1 a month. It's a fantastic family, and we'd love for you to join us. So thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.